Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Jo and this channel is called Joey Sewy, and the clue's in the name. It's all about sewing and now and then bits and pieces of other things, and that's what we're doing today. We're doing sewing and bits and pieces of other things because it's my favourites video. So thank you very much for choosing to watch my channel. I really appreciate everybody who does that. And before we get into the favourites, which we will do very soon, I just wanted to give you a heads up that I am planning some really exciting developments that I need your help with. So I can't tell you about any of them yet because I haven't properly shaped them in my mind. But in the next few weeks, I want to ask for your help about exactly what direction I should take my channel in, and also what direction I should take my sewing life world in. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, it would be fantastic to have you along. And if you do subscribe and click the notification bell, then you will get notified of my videos. And when I make that call out for help, you will hear my call. So let's get into my favourites. I haven't done a favourites video for a while. End of last year got very hectic and my video schedule wasn't quite where I wanted it to be, but most of last year I'd been doing a favourites video every month, and I really like doing these videos, and they're usually very well received. Thank you. They're basically a little bit of what I've been enjoying. If there's ever a sponsored or an affiliate link, I will let you know, but most of the time it isn't like that. It is literally just what I've been enjoying, and I try to keep to the same headings each time. And the first one, I don't always do them in the same order, but the first one is my favourite Instagram hashtag or post, and I'm going to be shameless, and I'm going to say me. Now, not really because I'm my favourite, but because I've been being much more consistent on Instagram the last month or so, since after Christmas, and life got back to a little bit more I would like normality to be. And so if you would like to follow me on Instagram, I'm Joey Sewy there as well. Keep it all very simple. I'm Joey Sewy everywhere, except when I teach yoga and do therapy, because that would be weird. Anywhere that I'm talking sewing, I'm Joey Sewy, and you can find me on Instagram, and I post not daily, but a lot of days of the week, I would say. Sometimes I didn't post yesterday, I will post today. I did post the day before yesterday. There you go. Sometimes it's what I'm wearing, sometimes it's what I'm working on. So take a look. I would love it if you would follow me on Instagram. And if you do have a favourite Instagram hashtag, post, person from the last month or so, I'd really like to hear about it in the comments down below. So let me know. My second category is my favourite YouTube video, and it is a video from I don't know what to call her. She's called Alexa Chung. She's a fashionista, designer, one of those people who's famous for being pretty and wears clothes very well, but she's quite likeable as well, in my opinion. And she has a YouTube channel called Alexa Chung, and she recently did a video visiting the Dior Atelier, which is basically their couture hand sewing studio. Fascinating 20-minute video of her. She walked around, she chatted with the people. It was in Paris, obviously, and it was really fascinating. So I would really recommend you go and have a look at that video. Very high production values, so really easy to watch from that point of view as well. But it just, on the one hand, it showed amazing skill, which was really joyful to watch. And on the other hand, I kept thinking, do you know what? Those of us who, when we make a special garment as home sewers, a lot of what is being elevated, albeit by people with decades of experience in the couture room, are the techniques that we use in home sewing. That's how special what we do is. We are very amazing people. So yeah, I took it on both of those levels. On the one hand, I took it on the level of, this is just an amazing thing to watch, and it's really fascinating, and these people are really skilled, and the fabrics are so beautiful, and all of that was true. But on the other hand, I kept thinking, yeah, you know, that's not a million miles away from where I aim some of my garments to go. I mean, I'm not doing a fully beaded skirt or anything, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, so I'd recommend the Alexa Chung video. And she's got a second part to that series, I think it's just 2 parts, where she was at the Dior show that followed the clothes that she saw. So that might be worth watching as well. My favourite new sewing pattern. I've got 3. These are not necessarily new patterns, these are patterns that are new to me. The first one is a pattern for boys because it was so cute. Oh, I wish I had seen this pattern 5 years ago, because Felix would have been wearing it 7 days a week. It's just the cutest thing ever, and Bertie actually, if it was like 7 years ago. It's a cute little, have I said cute enough yet? It's cute. It's so sweet. It is a lovely sweatshirt, raglan sleeves, which you can just take on that level. But what I adored when I saw it was the road applique. That is an optional thing, but totally not optional. In my view, it would have been all over it if I had a small boy to sew for at the moment. And in the pattern description, it talks about having big pockets to hide stones or cars or bits of string in. And I really liked that. I really liked how she caught the spirit of being a little boy in her pattern description. So it was lovely. So that was my first pattern that I just couldn't resist, but won't be sewing because I don't have anyone to make it for anymore. But it does come into sizes right up into teenage size actually. So if we do need a sweatshirt, as I say, you don't actually have to do the applique, you can just do it as a plain sweatshirt. So there is that too. The second pattern is the Victor trousers by Lenoline Patterns. I'm just checking myself. Lenoline, I think they might be French, definitely foreign of some description. How English do I sound there? Anyway, what I mean is I might be murdering the name. But the Victor trousers by Lenoline Patterns. And I really liked the style of these. They've got quite a high pleated waist. So it's going towards that paper bag waist style. But then quite fairly loose around the thigh. And then slightly tapered again at the bottom of the leg. Obviously it's on a model, but a very flattering shape in my opinion. So I'm always interested in a flattering trouser, who isn't? And these ones really caught my eye on the Fold Line website, so I thought I would go for them. And Lenoline Patterns, Lenoline, however it's said, is not a company that I'm familiar with, so it led me to want to go and check out what other stuff they do and whether everything else is just as stylish. So that was the second pattern that I wanted to highlight to you. The third pattern, there will be links to all of this stuff down in the comments below and in a blog post on my website. So that's one of the new things. I'm going to start using my website a bit more. So my website is also joeysewy.com, and I'm going to put the description, all the information about each video into a blog post on my website each time, because it will also be in the description box for the time being, but I'm going to try and keep kind of a library of them on my website too. So you can head across to joeysewy.com and you can find them there. So that's where all the links will be. And the third pattern is a real actual pattern that I have sewn. It is a jersey shirt, and the pattern is from Bootstrap Patterns, which you may or may not have heard of. I have a video which is my highest watch video, which is all about when I made my custom dress form. And they sell, one of their key products is they sell a pattern which is custom made to you by algorithm to make a dress form in your size. And I've got 2 videos, which I will link, which talk about, they're not tutorials, they're not step-by-steps, because when I was making those videos, it's more than 2 years ago now, I think, I'd already made my dress form, so I couldn't show the step-by-step, but I talked about the process, but I also talked about the psychological process, because making your own shape is a thing that is a bit weird, because we can't normally step outside ourselves. However much you might stare at yourself in the mirror, you don't see yourself the same as if you can actually have yourself there and look back. So for me, anyway, it was quite a shock. Not necessarily bad, but just quite weird. And and positive in the end because it's given me a much better view of my body shape. I probably need to make another one actually because I think my shape's changed a little. But yeah, so I have videos that talk about that, and that is one of their key patterns. And I know a lot of you will have seen that video of mine because I know it's a way a lot of people find me. But they do also use their software, which can spit out the custom sized dress forms to create custom sized patterns of all sorts of garments. So I will show you, you can scroll through their website. I'm planning to do a video in more depth about how you go through the process because it's not the easiest to navigate. But basically on the website they have hundreds and hundreds of garment designs, and you scroll through them all, you pick them, and then you have to put in lots of body measurements, and I mean lots. There is a kind of a light version where you put in about 8, and then there is a deep version where you put in about 25. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it right. And one of the places that I don't struggle to fit, but usually doesn't fit brilliantly out of the packet is my shoulders. They're quite narrow and they're quite sloped, and obviously I've got a waist hip ratio difference that doesn't match a standard pattern. So I went for all of the measurements, and I'm glad I did because it made a really big difference, or at least what I got out of it was a pattern that I cut out. I sewed it exactly as it was, made a couple of style differences but no fitting differences at all, and it fits really, really well. So I was very excited about that. So there will be a link. That is an affiliate link. I will be upfront about that, as we should be. But honestly, the opinions are completely genuine. I wouldn't ever do that to you, that I wouldn't be telling you the genuine thing just because I'm getting paid to say something. That's not how I work. But there is an affiliate link to that company because they do have an affiliate program. And why not take advantage of it to support my channel? So yeah, I loved the result I got from this pattern, and I chose it because I'd seen styles like it's a gathered round collar shirt. I made it out of jersey. It was sized for wovens, but actually you can always do that. You can always switch in a jersey in a woven pattern. It's more difficult to do it the other way around. So I made it out of jersey and I love it. I'm going to talk more about the changes I made and exactly what I did in my What Have I Been Sewing in January video, which will be very soon because today is the 30th of January. So there's not going to be a lot more sewing. So next week there'll be my What Have I Been Sewing video. And you will hear all about the detail, but I've really loved that pattern, so I needed to put it into my favourite pattern. Which leads me straight on to my favourite me-made garment of the month. This is not necessarily something I've made this month, it's just what I've been wearing, but it is that shirt. So I'm going to show you it. You're going to get a sneak preview, lucky you. I'm going to get it and I'm going to show you it and you can see what it looks like. So if you do hop onto my Instagram, you will see me wearing this because I've worn it a couple of times already. But this is it. Oh, I had my hair cut in it and it's got bits of hair stuck on it, so don't judge me. Or if you do, just keep it to yourself. So let's see how well that's going to film. Yeah, there are lots of bits of hair actually, but you can see the gather at the collar. The collar is a little narrower than the pattern, and that was a style change I made. It is a yoked shirt, so it's got a yoke at the back here. I chose to sew on the buttons with a mint thread, so you can see that, and it's only got one button, but there they are. It has 3/4 length sleeves, which again was the major change, the other major change I made. This is a cuffed pattern, so full length sleeves with a cuff, and I didn't do that because that wasn't the style I wanted. So basically I made life easy for myself because I omitted it. But this has been my favourite me-made garment, and I will put a couple of pictures of me wearing it. But again, if you keep an eye on my Instagram, this is definitely going to be featuring again. It's a fantastic, comfortable, basic, but it's also a shirt, so it's not that basic. So I love the line that it walks, and it's really suiting how I'm choosing to dress at the moment. So moving on to my favourite purchase, and I'm going to have to run off and get something again. So wait there. I am back. My favourite purchase, I have been hunting around in charity shops. Although actually I just got really lucky and I didn't have to hunt that hard. I bought 2 coats. Did I need 2 coats? No, probably not. But I just couldn't decide between them. So I got them both because that's one of the joys of charity shops. It's also one of the dangers, but it's one of the joys. So they're both purple coats. Did I need 2 purple coats? No. But I got them anyway. They're both Marks and Spencer's coats, which if you watched my handmade versus ready to wear blouse video, you will know that I quite like Marks and Spencer's because that's where the ready to wear blouse was from. This one, I think this one is my favourite. I'll show you it on, but it's got this amazing lining. It's just fantastic. I'd been thinking about making a coat, but also I've been thinking about making a lot of things. So it was kind of like, how am I going to fit all this in? And I just happened to find myself in a charity shop slash op shop slash thrift store, wherever you are in the world. And if you've got another name for that kind of shop, let me know, because I like collecting words. So let me know if you have a different name for a charity shop. But that's what they're called in England. And I'm going to have to zoom out for you and show you this coat. I got it because the colour is amazing. It's got a funnel neck, which I've got a scarf under here, so it doesn't fasten up very well. It's got a funnel neck. I love the puffed sleeves because it helps to balance out my figure. And it goes down to about thigh length. But it was the colour that sold it for me, and the fact that it is in really fantastic condition. So yes, I loved that. And then the other coat was a purple cord coat, which was brilliant. So I sidestepped sewing something, which is not really, that's not the game I'm supposed to play, is it? But I did, and it means that I've got time to sew some other stuff which maybe I wouldn't have got to. So there you go, this beautiful purple coat, which, oh, colour's great, is my favourite purchase of the month. My favourite gadget is something that it's actually more of a technique, I suppose, but it's part of my sewing machine, and it's probably part of what your sewing machine can do, but I've never really used it before. So it is the stepped zigzag stitch. Now I'm hoping that we can get my face out of the way. There you go. So I've used the stepped zigzag stitch on the cuffs. Look, cat hair. Again, don't judge, or if you do, keep it to yourself. I've used it on the cuffs of this shirt, and I've used it on the hem. So I'll lift that up and show you. And you can see the inside. I did overlock or serge the fabric first, and then I used that. Oh, that's a good shot. Why do I like it so much? Well, it's a stretch stitch, a partial stretch stitch, and I think it looks pretty cool actually. On a practical level, what it allows you to do is it allows you to go over the edge of the fabric, so you're catching it, so there's nothing that can rub out. So I like that. It's really practical. It's a stretch stitch. I think it's slightly decorative, but not overwhelmingly so. And I've never really used the stepped zigzag. So if you don't know what stepped zigzag is, you just saw it, but it's a running stitch that goes in a zigzag shape. So you can, on my machine, which is a Bernina, you can vary how tight the zigzag is, how wide it is, and that will all influence how many running stitches there are in each zig and each zag. But it depends on your machine. But it is actually a really common stitch. Even on basic machines, it's one that's often included because it is good for stretch, not for a seam because the zigzag doesn't do great, but for hems and cuffs and, you know, where I've used it. So if you have it on your machine, go and have a look and find out. And if you're using it for a stretch project, or if you are working on a stretch project at the moment, then maybe see whether there is a place for the stepped zigzag, because I'm a fan now. I'm going to use it some more. And finally, my last category in my favourites video this month is my favourite podcast or audiobook, and it's an audiobook this time. It's a book called Where the Light Gets In by Lucy Dillon, and it's a novel, and it basically it's not high literature, but it is well written, and it's not trashy literature either, in my opinion. It's a story about a woman who has always wanted to follow a creative path, but not really found her niche yet. She's following in the footsteps of her mother, who was an artist, and she always thought that's what she would do, but she never felt that she did it well. And it's all about how she finds her thing, and also about how craft and making and creativity fits into the meaning of life. Just that small subject. So there is a secondary strand about an older woman, an older artist that she makes friends with, who has a terminal illness. But it's very life affirming. I cried quite a bit towards the end, but I cry easily. But it was a lovely story. I loved the message because it's exactly how I feel about my creativity, is that it really brings meaning to my life. And that's part of what drives me to be creative all over the place in my life. So I loved the way that story was told. And I did also really like the part of the friendship with the older woman, because that kind of keyed into some of my therapy beliefs about life is meaningful right up until the end, if you choose for it to be. So if you're interested in a really well told story that touches on some of the stuff that we do in our creative practice, then I would really recommend Where the Light Gets In by Lucy Dillon. And Audible do have affiliate links, so if you haven't ever tried Audible, I will put a link in the description. You don't have to use it, you could buy a book. And I will put an Amazon link for that, which again could be an affiliate link. You can go and get it from the library too. There's no obligation with this stuff, but I do want to be completely clear, and I always will be completely clear on my channel. Thank you very much for watching. Watch out for those exciting announcements that I have teased you with. It won't be long before you'll find out what they are. I just need to get a little bit clearer and have something more concrete to share with you before I can, but it won't be long. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with my channel. I really appreciate it, and I'll be back very soon with another video. Bye.